Shut your eyes. Stop your ears. Gather close around the fireside and try to convince yourself that there is nothing to be afraid of. Comfort yourself with the knowledge that the facts are the facts. That tangible reality is something you can rely upon. That no object can be anything other than simply and precisely what it is. Give no thought to the inevitable and unendurable transfigurations that will tear apart your careful illusion at the unseen hour. In the quiet rural village of Grisselburg, life is dominated by routine. The humble farmers and townsfolk measure out their uneventful lives in the same modest chores, day in and day out. At the break of day, the local dairy farmer, Rufus Strideforth, steps into his enormous tweed hosen one leg at a time and ventures out to inspect his herd.
Another beautiful morning in our charming little woodland town. Nothing could possibly go... Oh, the humanity! My precious beeves! Eva, Gunther, Gertrude, Marlena, Teresa, Madeline! They have been comprehensively separated from their delicious entrails! My poor herd is decimated! What kind of monstrous wild beast could have done this? Yes, Lenore. I will go into the village immediately and alert the townsfolk.
Oh dear, oh dear. Oh no.
Townsfolk! Constable Kent! Something terrible has happened!
Don't tell me, Strideforth. Your cows have been massacred by a wild animal!
That is it exactly! How did you know?
Something killed my sheep, too.
My ducks.
And my cats.
And my children.
But what could have possibly... I'm sorry, your children?
Yes. I had 42 head of prize human children. Now only 15 I have. I go early to their enclosure today to feed them, and it's all little arms and legs everywhere.
But what could have possibly... I'm sorry, these are your actual children.
Children, yes, and my babies. Also, the beast consume my latest husband.
You don't seem terribly upset.
What? I come here, I complain. This is me upset.
As constable of this village and as a representative of the occult order for the extermination of evil in the form of ogres and other oddities, it is my duty to conduct a thorough investigation. Mama Yugchek is certainly a suspect because, well, look at her. She looks like a witch.
Also, she's literally farming children.
Does our eminent mayor have any thoughts?
Well, let's not go torturing innocent witches quite yet. I'm sure it's an overreaction, these simple-minded, hysterical, agricultural types, you know.
A remarkably non-committal and evasive answer from the old potentate. Is he hiding something, I wonder?
Very well. As scion of the occult order for the extermination of evil in the form of ogres and other oddities, I hereby declare this investigation open to the crime scene.
He seems dynamic. I imagine it will all be sorted in no time. What, Imogen?
What? Oh, yes. Nothing to worry about.
Oh, Imogen. Are you hurt? You seem to have some blood on your skirts.
Blood? No. Oh, don't look at that. Ignore my skirts. Look at this. It's a magic helmet. Place it on your head and you will hear dulcet voices speaking fantastical stories. Isn't this much more exciting?
Oh, sweet, ignorant, inferior woman. No, don't you know we're living in the Renaissance? This isn't the Dark Ages anymore. There's no such thing as magic. Let me demonstrate that this is a perfectly ordinary helmet. There, you see? Oh, now hang about. What's this I hear?
There is a peculiar sensation when the blood clot inside of you dislodges itself from the flesh of your womb and makes its journey down the chutes and tubes of those secret organs that men just poke at and never really understand. It is a precious moment, one that I have always delighted in. There is pain, but it is experienced more as a melancholy than as a physical ailment. It throbs like a missed opportunity or a silent room. I hadn't been able to imagine her giggling in days. I'd also not slept, which wasn't good. It was by the window thinking these thoughts when I first noticed him at the edge of the clearing. The night was bone white and the silence deafening. A flicker of fear licked its tongue up the back of my neck, and I realized I was holding my breath when the image of him lurching through the field began to blur. He wasn't running. It was the deliberate plod of a man that has been crossing the prairie at the same pace for longer than I have been wearing black for Jedediah and Grace. He wasn't slow, neither. The closer he came, the clearer he was. Tidy enough, still wearing his hat, but not a stitch of luggage on him. Not even a saddlebag slung over his shoulder. The prairie is hot, and I have seen more than one filly foam and have to be shot. But he carried nothing. He was nearly at my porch when I noticed his right hand was wrapped with a bandana, flat where his last two fingers ought to have been. His boot fall on the bottom step ricocheted up the beams, and I could feel it under my feet as I looked out my window upstairs. I froze. But I always bolt the door before bed, so there was nothing to fear. Jed hadn't been much of a craftsman, and when he first built the house, it'd swing ajar if the wind was keen. The sound of it smacking open has woken us from Christian rest only a brace of times before I insisted he put a lock on. I waited for the knock, but nothing. It was a June night, and the white cotton clung to the sweat on the square of my back as I leaned forward. Why didn't he knock? Why did he wait? Knock! A queer kind of rage seized me. I was certain that he knew I was awake and was obstinately stood waiting at the door to be let in. Catherine? His voice was just as I remembered it. If I had buried him yesterday, I wouldn't have had less trouble recognizing him. I flew down the stairs and flung open the door. It crashed against the frame like staccato thunder during the summer rains. But there was nothing. The sear of moonlight sliced clear across the whitewash, and the porch was empty. I could feel a fire start in the corners of my eyes, and my breath came high in my chest. Catherine, honey, bolt that there door. I could have sworn I felt the heat of his breath by my ear. Did my hair stir? The breeze. It must be. But only just then did I remark what a still night it was. That was when I saw the man at the tree line. But this time he was running, and I didn't need telling twice. I heard the thrashing of grass against thighs pounding, and I fumbled with a bolt. How had he made his way back to the tree line? Damnation and hellfire, bolt that door, woman! Grind, screech, shunk. There was a faint ringing by the sides of my face as I caught my breath. Bang, 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 I screamed and jumped back. Whatever it was, for it certainly had to be, as none but the wings of Satan could have flown his bones that fast across the field and up to my door. It wanted in. Catherine, please. I need to get inside, honey, fast. You ain't my husband, and I wouldn't open a tin can of beans for you.
Mama? Please. Daddy needs to let in.
And I swear, the hem of my nightie rustled by my ankle like a sweaty little hand were tugging. Bang, bang, bang! I watched the bolt rattle and the hinges groan like my grandpappy would when he'd lean back from a table full of grits and gravy. I had to see what was pounding. As I rounded the top of the stairs, I grabbed the shotgun leaning against the railing and dove for the chest at the foot of the bed, linens and sewing cascading in a spray of snowy fabric, when I felt the cold of the shells against my fingertips. 2 cylinders in. Shunk, shunk. I pumped the prep and leveled the butt against my shoulder. I knew how to shoot. Daddy had made sure of that. You can't run hungry when there's rabbits for target practice. Bang, bang, bang on the door. My cheek felt the cold of the window glass as I looked down. The porch was empty. I scanned up and down. Nothing. No one. Not even a furrow in the field grass where he must have made his way through. God damn it, where are you? Before I knew it, I was out in the field, with the cicadas and the hum of all them other living creatures amongst the grass. Show yourself to me! Mama? Grace's voice came from behind me now, clean and whistle-sweet. But when I whipped round, she stood some 50 feet down the path that led towards the forest. Everything was frozen, save the heat pouring in salt clumps, stinging my cheeks like bacon grease spitting from the pan. I wiped them away, furious, and when I opened my eyes, she was gone and the path was empty. But the branches at the edge where the forest grew thick began to heave, and I turned and ran. I ran like nothing. Muscles burning, whiskey-bright breath, sandpaper in my throat. I couldn't turn to look. I had to run. Nearly at the door, nearly safe. I leapt up the porch steps and my back foot caught and I pitched forward. The shotgun fired as I hit the floor. My eyes flew open. I was in my chair by the window. Every inch of my skin crawling and my nightdress soaked through. Lord have mercy. I tried to chuckle, rubbing my hand over my chest, tight from the nightmare. The chuckle eased into deep breaths and I lay my head back. Relief cascaded over me like a hymn. That was when I saw the man step out from the trees at the edge of the clearing.
Oh, Lenore, what a day. There is a monstrous werewolf on the loose. And look, the moon is rising fat and round, and there, like a fatal watchman, is the man in the moon watching down over us all.
Yup, that's me, hello! Once a ne'er-do-well vagrant caught stealing sheep by the gods and punished, unnecessarily harshly in my opinion, with transformation into a rabbit and confinement here on the moon where I am forced to churn moon butter and endlessly flee away from the great wolf in the sky. A little bit about me there, in case you were wondering.
Looks like a man carrying sticks to me.
Nope, rabbit, moon butter, wolf.
Moon butter. Wolf! That reminds me, which of the peculiar and suspicious residents of Grisselburg could be the hideous lycanthrope in our midst?
What are your options? Aloof, village elder, obvious witch, or mysterious and alluring shepherdess?
Yes, but surely it can't be Imogen. She is the very image of purity and innocence.
But she was covered in blood and had a magic helmet.
What was that? There's something in the woods. You won't get me, Elvis. Sorry, Lenore, you're on your own.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ignorant peons and unwashed serfs. I have summoned you here today because one of your number has bargained with the devil and is terrorizing our village in the form of a wolf. It was, naturally, of little consequence to a nobleman such as myself, until Mummy Yagchek, our local manufacturer of certain medicines, was horribly murdered last night along with the remainder of her rather worrying child farm and her newlywed husband. Officer Kent, what have you learned?
Yes, yeah. Following the dismemberment of our prime suspect and a thorough investigation of the crime scenes, the occult order for the extermination of evil in the form of ogres and other oddities, we are confident that we are proceeding towards an arrest.
It's worse than I thought. He has no idea. And Mama Yakchek's out of the running. I must give them the information I have.
Please, Rufus, don't say anything.
Do the right thing. What would the moon do?
Forgive me, Imogen. I have information. Shepherdess Imogen Perch had blood on her skirts yesternight. Look, she does again today.
He's right! Miss Perch, do you have anything to say in your defense?
It's not what it looks like. You see, we live in a time of limited standards of feminine hygiene, and in terms of monthly cycles, it's,
I do not know! Please explain!
You would better let me handle the interrogation, Officer Kent. What do you mean, girl?
It's strawberry season.
Strawberries? I don't see how that's...
Harvest time for the lingonberries.
Lingonberries now.
Shark Week.
I'm thoroughly lost.
Grandma's stuck in traffic.
Sorry, what?
The English have landed. I'm riding the Scarlet Wave. Aunt Irma is visiting. I am the ambassador at the court of the Crimson King. The monkey has a head injury.
This is utter nonsense.
I'm experiencing widespread reform in my arts and sciences.
Are you feeling quite well?
I'm on my period.
Oh, heavens! No, Olga! Absolutely
no,
not.
no.
Grotesque and revolting. It is quite apparent that this woman is the culprit and must be tortured and executed at the earliest opportunity.
What? Wait, no! You can't be serious.
I am fully convinced that this harlot has engaged in unholy congress with the adversary himself, and in so doing has acquired powers of lupine transformation and an inhuman bloodlust.
Unbelievable.
Featherstone, throw her into the jail.
I would, my lord, but the jailhouse has been redecorated.
Well then, lock her inside Ethereal Melody Weaver, Jess Bryant.
Right you are.
Some minor admin.
Slowly, silently, now the moon walks the night in her silver shoe. This way and that she turns and sees silver fruit upon upon silver trees, silver fruit upon silver trees. One by one, her casements catch, her beams beneath the silvery thatch. From her shadowy coat, the white breast peep of doves in a silver feathered sleep. From her shadowy coat, the white breast peep of doves in a silver feathered sleep. And moveless fish in the water gleam by silver reeds in a silver stream. By silver reeds in a silver stream.
Imogen! Imogen! Are you there?
Rufus, what are you doing here? It's almost night.
I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I'm sorry.
I'm sure that will be a comfort to me as they torture me to death based on your testimony and the fact that I'm menstruating.
No, don't need to say that. No. Thank you.
Honestly. But regardless, Rufus, you must get away from here before...
Hello again! Here comes the moon once more! The lovely full moon drifting across the darkened sky and bathing the quiet world below in his silvery, cool, silvery light. Let's hear it for the moon! Hooray!
Oh no, it's too late! Hide, Rufus!
Why? What's happening? Imogen?
Stand back, Strideforth. I had a suspicion this would happen. We of the Occult Order for the Extermination of Evil in the form of ogres and other oddities
Yes.
are always prepared. Although in the course of this investigation I have come to realize that our expertise is very narrowly focused on just ogres.
Oh, but you're doing awfully well.
Thank you! Look out!
Oh my God, be careful, Kent! Yes, that's right! Get down with that chair! Use the axe! Oh, okay, the axe is out of the picture. Look out, Kent! Don't there goes the leg. Look out for those pops! Oh, that's right, Kent, yes! Yes, keep dodging! I've never seen a man hop so fast! You can do it, yes! The pitchfork! Ah, you've got it now! Just one? Oh no. Oh dear. Oh, poor Kent. Yeah. Well, you hate to see it. Honestly, I tried to look on the bright side, but it's becoming increasingly difficult to find a silver lining here.
Oh, but everything has a silver lining under the light of the beautiful full moon. And having improved the world by my presence, now I'll continue my endless journey and set again, giving way to morning.
I've got her! I found her sleeping in the woods covered in gore.
Excellent work, Featherstone. Where are my thumbscrews?
I'm innocent.
Lies! Hellspawn, an aggressive course of torture will have a different story from you in short order.
But what if she's telling the truth?
You saw her maul the constable to death, didn't you?
I saw a wolf maul the constable to death. I mean, she's not a wolf. Damn it all, this is the Renaissance! Our paintings have got perspective!
Codswallop! Come on, you, get on the rack. We'll stretch you out a bit and then we'll see.
No, Featherstone, he's right. This is the Renaissance. Legal and scientific methods are becoming more rigorous. But that gives me an idea. I think I have a solution which will satisfy everyone.
Go on then.
This infusion, which I had from our late medicine woman, in the connoisseur will induce... well... but in a naive such as the accused here, it will cause violent vomiting. We shall inspect the contents of her stomach. Hold her nose, Featherstone.
No, please.
Yep, that's Kent's entire face. I withdraw my objection. She's a monster.
All right, I admit it. Once a month I turn into a rampaging fiend. At the same time every month, when I am very short-tempered and desire nothing more than to tear the stupid villagers limb from limb with teeth and claws, I am metamorphosed by means of a magic belt that I have into the likeness of a greedy and devouring wolf, with paws great and powerful and jaws wide and filled with teeth most sharp and cruel. I hunt through the night with eyes great and large that spark like fire in the darkness, and slake my thirst on the blood of the livestock and their keepers, who are no less cattle than they.
Yeah, it seems I really rather misjudged Imogen.
Take her away, Featherstone. Let her be tormented with sharp things and with blunt things, with hot things and abrasive things, with things that sting and things that itch, until she passes on to hell, where her agony will continue everlastingly.
Full works then, yeah? I'm on it.
What a relief!
Yeah, I suppose so.
Oh, you and I dodged a silver bullet there, my love.
Oh, yes. Who knew there was another werewolf in the village?
Well, they'll never suspect us now. Same time tonight for a bit of running through the forest and killing things.
Iran.
In the small woodland village of Grisselburg, justice has been done. Order and reason have triumphed over superstition and chaos of the old ways. A crazed murderer has been caught, and the sleepy villagers can return to the gentle routine of their rural lives. And you too, dear listeners, can go about your business, secure in the knowledge that there is no place in the modern world for anything that is ferocious or upsetting. Those things need not trouble you until the next unseen hour. We hope you have enjoyed the Unseen Hour Episode 5, The Grisselburg Werewolf Trials. It was recorded live at the Rosemary Branch Theatre in London by Andy Goddard. It was performed by Bryce Stratford, Joey Timmins, and James Carney, and featured a monologue written by Sasha Wilson and performed by Rhiannon Needs. The musical guest was Jess Bryant. Theme music by The Unrecorded. The Unseen Hour is created, written, and produced by James Carney. And the podcast is produced by Andy Goddard. It was brought to the Rosemary Branch Theatre by Scarlett Pluvier-Comnas, Genevieve Tarico, and Anya Kulesa of Unattended Items. We all look forward to seeing you here again at the Unseen Hour.